What are the elements in astrology? There are 4 elements, which are water, earth, fire, and air. And these represent the 4 core drivers behind what we do. So, earth is material security. All the earth signs tend to be practical and grounded. Fire is passion. This is where we seek thrill and intensity and, in a way, romance. And water is emotional nurturance. This is where we realize that we are all sensitive and we need to feel cared for and supported and get in touch with our emotions. And air is mental stimulus. This is where we realize we are mental beings who need intellectual connection. So these 4 elements really show what our main drivers are behind what we do. And the more of an element you have in your chart, the more you're going to be driven by that thing and the more those traits are going to show within you. Because not only do these 4 elements represent what our drives are in life, it also represents some of our general qualities. And within, there are, again, 4 elements. There are 3 zodiac signs within each of those elements. And each of them, because they're within that element, they have somewhat of a similarity because of this, because they're each driven by the same thing. They are just different expressions of how we achieve that. And knowing that can be extremely impactful for understanding what exactly drives that zodiac sign and what makes them different from another element. Oftentimes I can hear people saying how I'm confused. Aquarius sounds similar to maybe Gemini, or I don't see how is Aries different from Leo. They're all within the same element, but they have different ways of achieving that desire. Knowing the element can also determine compatibility sometimes in a chart. That's oftentimes what it's used for. Fire and air work well together. Earth and water work well together. Fire and water have some trouble. Earth and air have some trouble because they're just too different. But knowing the element of each of your placements can help you realize what the core root drive is behind your action. And this can be extremely good for beginners in astrology to know, because oftentimes it is a lot to understand each of the zodiac archetypes. They're each so unique, and in a way they can be simple, but it takes time to learn and process that information. But if you can just understand the element that each of your placements is in, you'll understand what your drive is behind your actions. So let's break down the elements, starting with Earth. The Earth elements are Capricorn, Virgo, and Taurus. And these are all driven by the desire for material security. Earth is where we learn that we need material security in order to be balanced. After all, we all need all 4 of the elements. We need passion, material security, emotional nurturance, and mental connection. But depending on how much of that placement you have in your chart will indicate how much you need that. So if you look at your chart, specifically your big 5, which are your sun, moon, rising, Venus, Mars, and Mercury, 6, let's say 6. If any of those planets, or many of them, are in the signs of Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn, you're going to be very driven by the desire for material security. All Earth signs are extremely practical. After all, it's Earth, so think of these people as very grounded. In some way or another, they are practical and self-assured. Virgo struggles more with asserting who they are, but they want to all maintain a sense of self. Some of them are going to be more assertive in that way, and some of them find their sense of self through what they do. Either way, these people want to move through life in a methodical way. They want to follow their process, make sure that they sustain themselves, and make sure that they don't burn out. People who have strong Earth traits are very, very grounded. These are people who oftentimes need a lot of material security and routine in order to be stable. So if you have a lot of Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo traits, Virgo placements, this will be strong within you. The fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. These 3 zodiac signs are primarily driven by the desire for passion and intensity. They want to feel the fire in their veins. They're each driven by this in a different way. But overall, fire signs all tend to be very bold people, loud, excited, enthusiastic, playful, and energetic. They have this fire within them that seems to just expand and radiate from within them. These people are carefree. They are sometimes impulsive, almost always impulsive, in fact. They're someone who has plenty of passion to share with the world. They don't hold back from showing themselves, and they're unafraid to maybe burn some people in the process. All fire signs do generally have not only a very strong passion, but they can also be somewhat aggressive. After all, the fire just wants to burn, and so they might come off messy in many ways, chaotic in many ways. They can be someone who is less methodical and more just acts off of impulse and speaks off of impulse, not necessarily thinking things through. This is especially true for Aries placements. And can you tell that I have strong Aries placements? All fire signs want to live off of passion, and this makes them very prospecting people who just innovate as they go. If it was up to fire placements, they would never have a single schedule in their life. They would just wake up and go, what do I want to do today? Oh, look, there's a food truck over there. I'm going to go over there. Okay, now I'm going to go for a bike ride. Now I'm going to do this. Fire signs want to move non-linearly and with passion. They're all going to be passionate people. They're going to have plenty of energy. They're going to seek intensity and thrill in many different ways. Aries tends to seek thrill through intensity. Leo tends to seek thrill through love and play. And Sagittarius tends to seek thrill through adrenaline and heightened experiences that are generally very intense. So if any of your major planets, your Sun, Moon, Venus, Mercury, or Mars are in fire signs, if you have multiple of those planets in fire signs, you're going to have very strong fire energy, which means you're very passionate, enthusiastic, bold, and brave. The water elements are Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. And these three are all driven by the desire to feel emotionally secure and comforted. Now, this is very interesting. I think the water placements are the most interesting because they have very different expressions. Whereas the earth signs, you can see that overall similarity of stability on the outside. In the fire signs, you see this passion. The water signs can each appear very, very different. If anything, Cancer almost seems like an earth sign because they are so focused on feeling emotionally secure, and they find this through having routine and having stability. They're very earthly in many ways, and they want to feel like they have people they can rely on, including themselves, and they keep to themselves and make sure that they move through life in a way that is emotionally secure for them. Pisces can seem in a way like maybe one of the air signs because they want to be less personal, and they want to just make sure that they stay in their dream world. They are very mentally connected, and they want to connect to energy. And in a way, Scorpio can very much seem like a fire sign because they're driven by emotional thrill and intensity. They are seeking passion and power. And after all, represented by the phoenix, that's a fire animal. So there's a lot of different energies coming into play with the water sign, which is why it's important to know that water means they're driven by the desire for emotional satisfaction, and they seek feeling emotional support. So one similarity and common thread between all of these that might not always appear on the surface is that they want to feel emotionally seen, heard, and supported. They just each do this through different means. All water signs are the kind of people who act off of emotion. They will seem generally grounded, more like the earth archetype rather than the fire, but they will also be nonlinear. Earth signs know how to move in a practical, methodical way, giving the exact amount of energy they know they can maintain themselves with. Whereas water is fluid and ever-changing. These people can have highs and lows. They oftentimes can seem more emotional because they are driven by emotion, and so they move through life on this ebb and flow. The overall theme that you will see with water signs is that these are all some of the most nurturing people you'll meet, but also in a way some of the most focused on their own emotions. I wouldn't necessarily use the word selfish, but these people are so aware of what they need that they always put themselves first to make sure, after all, that they're taking care of their own emotional needs. And at the same time, these are some of the most giving people that you'll meet, and you can feel more emotionally connected to them than any of the other elements. The air signs are Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra. These people are all driven by the desire to mentally connect with someone. They could care less about feelings or passion. They're so very rational, and they want to remain detached at all times. They want to just be mentally stimulated. And again, 3 different signs, they go about this through slightly different means. Gemini seeks mental connection by just observing reality. They're just very fascinated by watching the world work and taking in information and being social with other people. Libra wants to put themselves in someone else's shoes, and they want someone to put themselves in their shoes. They want to connect with someone about who they are, one-on-one connection. And Aquarius seeks mental connection through innovation. They want to make an impact on the world, see everyone for who they are, and just remain detached from everything at the same time. They want to connect to the world, so to say. They want to be a humanitarian who has a purpose. All air signs have an overall theme of intellect. If you have strong air placements, if any of your main 5 planets are in air, which is again Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius, you're going to be someone who's very intellectual. People can see that you're very mentally active, somewhat of an overthinker, especially true if you have strong Gemini placements. You are going to be seen as someone who thinks way too much. But overall, the air signs are someone who is driven by the desire to intellectually connect. You're someone who keeps things rational, is very detached, and is very neutral. As an air sign, you'd much rather spend time in your own mind if you cannot mentally connect with another person. All the air signs have a high standard on intellectually connecting with someone. So that is an overview of each of the elements, and I hope that explained well and simply what each of the elements represent and why they're important. Because if you oftentimes, like I said, you can look at a chart and get confused. What's the difference between Gemini versus Libra versus this versus that? I'm so confused. Just look at for what element is most strong in your chart. In your sun, moon, Mercury, Venus, and Mars. What element is the most common? Do you have predominantly air? Is it water? That will show you what you're most driven by, and it's important for you to fulfill those needs. Specifically in your moon sign, which I have a whole series covering the moon through the signs that you can check out later.